Right, good morning. I don't know what number video this is that you're getting. I can't remember how many I've made already. But I'm in the house today because I need the ironing board. And also my mother's coming in 2 days and my studio is spotless because I know she'll want to go out there. So it's absolutely, you could eat your dinner off the floor. So I'm not going out there till my mother's been. So I'm working in the house. Right, I've done a bit more embroidery on this backing cloth and I really like it. So what I want to do now is edge this and then maybe not attach it to here, but just give you an idea of how it might look. And you've got to see the bigger picture because this whole cloth will be like that and it'll have lots of these on, and the rest of them might well be smaller than this one because I think perhaps this is a bit big, but it's okay because it'll set the bar for the measuring and placement of all the other things that will go on here. Might be that I do a really narrow long one, but I think it's a bit square and it's possibly a bit big, but I won't really know till I edge it. So that, a lot of work still to be done on that, although to be fair, it doesn't really take that long. And I just really like it. It's playful. It's not something that I normally do, that I haven't done for a long time. And yeah, no, I like it, and it's quite a simple thing for you to do because like I said, you just need circles or squares, or you could draw grandmother's flower gardens. You don't have to be a great artist. And also, like I said, you can copy this. Now I don't think it's going to serve me any purpose to take pictures of my templates, but there'll be pictures of this. In fact, if I take a picture of that now like that, you can perhaps enlarge it and print it and then trace it or something. And just to say, that was my first one with my template, but then they morphed to this and I prefer this. So this is I'm going to make another template from that one. That happens as well sometimes, so don't worry about that. So if I take just a picture of that, then like I say, you could print it and copy it. And as for how big they are, they're not very big at all, so don't be thinking, oh well, I've printed it but it's tiny. So across, they're 2 1/4 across at the widest point, and they're 1 3/4 inches long, high, tall, and the cup is 1 inch that way, and not counting the handle, it's 3/4 of an inch that way width. So it's 1 inch height, 3/4 of an inch width, the cup. That's without the handle. So don't be printing them off and thinking, oh, I've printed this off but it's too small, what am I going to do? Because it is small. Okay, don't forget about that. So I'll just put that to one side now. Now I'm a bit anxious about this edging this. I wanted to do it in white ribbon, but I haven't got any, and I haven't done subtle for a long time. So what I'm going to do, just get this back a minute. I've got some coloured ribbon here that I'm going to use ribbon that's wide enough to fold like that, to go front and back. Sorry, to go front and back. Sorry. So this ribbon is 1 inch wide, but I think these colours will go on here. So I'll use the pink today, but it doesn't mean I won't use the blue at another time. And I've also got this, but I don't think this is wide enough. This would have been subtle, but I don't think it's wide enough when it's folded over. So I'm going to use the pink. Alright, so if I just put them over there and get rid of this. Now, I am anxious because I need to cut this down, trim it. So if I line up my hexagon edges with the board like that, and I'm wondering if I can just cut straight up, or do I need to mark it? Probably need to mark it. Now I need to mark it in such a way that there's enough room for me to fold the ribbon over as well. So if can I just remind you again about the basics video as well on the class blog. Please have a look at it because I've had a couple of questions about stitches and they're on there. They're demonstrated on there. So just have a quick run through it and see. Now I'm just thinking, if I do that there, are they equidistant? Because that one's from the cup and that one's from the hexagon, and I don't really know then it matters massively. 3/4. That's a little bit narrower that side, but do you know what? I'm not going to stress about that. I'm more stressed about getting these edges even. So if I come up 2 squares to cut there, if there's any pin marks in this boundary as well, don't worry, because they're going to be covered with the ribbon. Oh, don't remove it, Karen. You absolute oaf. 2. And then I need to cut that off. Right. Now I'm wondering, I was going to say the pinning might be better if I did it at the table, just for the sake of my back. And if you can hear that pipping, it's my iron reminding me that it's switched on. It's alright, because I know. And if you notice here as well, very remiss of me, I've left my basin in there. I need to take that out. Now these bits here need to be titivated as well, but I'm not going to do that till it's the bindings on the edges, because the binding being on the edges will make it stronger. It's quite vulnerable at the moment because the edges are unbound and raw and it's silk, and you know what it's like with fraying. Right, so I think that side's heavier there than that side, but that's only because the cup extends beyond the top. Okay, now I'm not worried about that, I'm really not. So what I need to do now is get the binding on here, which I'm hoping happens relatively easily. So if I press my ribbon, so what I'm going to do is bind there, there and there, but not up there, and the same there, there and there. I'm going to try and do it in one continuous piece, because there is a way to do the corners that kind of, like my iron's asleep, so I need to wake it up, that kind of, if you're lucky, falls naturally and happens without much effort, but knowing my luck today, it won't happen. So what I'm going to do is press it, and then I'm thinking I need to cut that edge, it's fraying. It's going to be easier if I press it in half, okay, before I start putting it on there. Mind your fingers. And just to say that my foot is amazing, it's a lot better. It still looks horrible, it's still hideous to look at, but there's no pain whatsoever. It's, you know, healing over. It's just a horrible colour, I guess. I've been given some cream that I've got to put on it religiously, because their concern is, because of the base of my toe where that area is burnt, of my big toe, because of the bending that your toe does when you're walking and stuff, that area could crack again, a dry crack, but it would still get infected again. So that's what the concern is with that. So I've got to slather this stuff on religiously, which I am doing because I don't want it to get infected again. I really don't. Can't be doing with all them trips for dressings and things. Far too busy for all that palaver. So, right, so let me see. Hopefully. So the first thing I'm going to do, can you see? Honestly, Karen, get a grip, woman. I'm really hot as well. Really like warm. Now I know that end's a bit frayy, but hopefully I'm going to stitch over that when I do down there. Right, so that's that bit. Now I know there's a way to fold this round the corner. Just let me pin that. And move the pin head right up there so it's not in the way. So I think, so what you do is you take it down there. It's like bias binding. Open it. put it in there, like that, and then it should mitre itself at this corner. Can you see what's happening at this corner? Push it down there, at the back, there, and it's mitered itself. Can you see that? So then go to the back, yeah, can you see? So you literally, and I'll do it on the next corner down here. That was far too easy, I'm sure something's going to go wrong. So I'll pin that in. Now you've got to also be aware that when you're stitching this on, it definitely needs to be that the cut edge of your silk, the silk in my situation, yours is whatever fabric you've used, that this cut edge is at the central point of that ribbon. Otherwise when you stitch at the front, it won't catch the reverse. Now you've got all kinds of opportunities here for titivation as well. Now you've got this on here. So we'll try and do that again down here. So open it out and tuck your edge into the fold like that. Alright, and then it should, you might have a little bit of a problem with your back piece sticking up. Just coax that down. Do you know what? It might be easier, because it is really fiddly, don't get me wrong, it is really fiddly. It might have been easier to baste it. But if you baste it, you don't want to secure this bit here, because you need that bit to be flexible to get the mitre to work. So again, fold it round. This bit's going to be fiddlier because it's smaller. Fold it round and get your edge into there, right? There, so it's in there now. And then just check with the point of your scissors that the corner is actually lying flat on the ribbon there. I mean, it's moving about, I can't. Maybe if I pin it onto the back there while I do the mitre bit. You might think, oh my goodness, this is way too fiddly, what is the point? But if you think about it, I've only been doing it a couple of minutes. It's not like it's taken me hours. You've just got to be brave there. And that's mitered itself again there. You just fold it over. Not as perfect as the other one though, actually. That's it. So now, hopefully, hold on to it. I can take that pin out of there and do that to secure that. And I'll check the back again. Yep, the back is okay. It's not very straight, but it needs another pin, that's all. So if I cut it off there, oh, I like it. Love it actually. I think it looks amazing. Or is amazing an adjective too far? Let you be the judge of that. So if I pin that there again, so there. Okay, that's the first half done. So that's not big enough to do all of that, but I will keep that. So we need to iron some more. Now I think as well, a good tip might be not to have too much ribbon because it'll just get in the way. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to be able to measure this, but if I kind of do this, like that, then I'm thinking that'll be enough, okay? Because if you've got too much ribbon there, you're going to have to contest with all that ribbon getting in the way as well. So be careful of that. So I'll press that, just going to get a drink. So I'm going on, it's Thursday today, you're getting this on Sunday, I'm going away on Monday, I'm flying, I'm leaving the house at 8 AM. But on Sunday, my mother and my brother are coming for a visit because my brother's never seen the house. One of my brothers, I've got 3 brothers. One of them's seen it, the other 2 haven't. My mother's seen it, but she's not seen my workshop. That's why I know she's going to be in there. She's going to be rooting through everything. and that's why it's fit for royalty, and I'm not going in there again now until she's been. And then my son is in America at the moment with his girlfriend. They've been there for 3 weeks. I was supposed to pick them up from the airport on Saturday morning. Remember, my mother's coming on Sunday. On Saturday morning at 11 AM, but they flew with Thomas Cook, who's gone bust. So now the government is bringing them home, and I have no idea when they're... Well, I do actually. I think they're not getting home now till Sunday, but I don't know what time. And they still need picked up at the airport. Oh, and on Sunday as well, I've got an electrician coming to fit me a new little ceiling light in my back bedroom that I've just had some work done in. I've had a wall took down in there, so all the trailing electrics need to be killed. He's coming on Sunday because he's a friend of my son's. He's a qualified electrician though. So he's coming, my mother and my brother. I'm going away on Monday. I haven't had a suitcase. Got nowhere to put my suitcases anyway, because if I get them out now and pack them, they'll be lying around because it's a small house and my house will look like a bomb site when my mother comes. So I can't pack till Sunday night. So I've got Martin coming to do the light and tidy up the electrics in that room. I've got my mother and Philip coming, and James and Chelsea need picked up at the airport. So happy Sunday. But fortunately my husband's going to be here, so he can go at the airport when we actually find out. The thing is though, I'm a bit disappointed because they got engaged when they were over there to be married, and I wanted to meet them at the gate with a bottle of champagne and a lot of hugs and stuff, and some flowers for Chelsea, but I can't do that now, and I'm really disappointed about that because James was very ill a couple of years ago. We nearly lost him, and it's amazing to see him now in this amazing part of his life where everything's coming good for him, and he's found this amazing girl and they're so much in love and they're getting married, and I just wanted to be there when they came through that gate, but never mind, I can do that when they get here. They're coming here because his car's here, so, but I cannot wait. I'm more excited about seeing them two than I am about going on holiday. So, right, I love it, absolutely love it. I hope you think it looks nice, and then we'll lay it on top of that other piece of fabric in a minute. So remember, this little corner, for me personally, you might not have a little bit like this, but for me personally, this is the trickiest bit. So I think it works better if I actually pin this on while I'm faffing with the mitre. But I really don't want anybody thinking it's a faff too far, because look, how long have we been making this video now? 18 minutes, right? But a lot of that was taken up with chat as well, so we haven't been doing this for 18 minutes. And then, I don't know. That's it, I think. Done, is it? No, for some reason that's too far up there. Or there's not enough ribbon there for that. But you can use the point of your scissors. So, no, I think I've pinned that too in the wrong place. This needs to move over a bit there. I think that's it. So pin that in there. That's amazing. I'm so happy how that's worked out. So I'll trim that again, and I keep this, right, and just to say to you, I don't know if we'll get a chance in this class, but I make something called snipper cloth, and I keep little bits of decorative stuff like that, and even bits of white silk and things, white on white fabrics, in a big jar, because I do this thing with very fine, almost not there fabric that I put little bits of this in, snip it up and put it on and sew over it on the sewing machine to make a different cloth. So keep hold of them, you never know, sometime in the future you might find out about snipper cloth, so keep it. I really don't think I'll have time in this class for that, and I don't know when there'll be any other class, so, but those of you who have done it before, don't ever forget to keep your little bits. Right, that's lovely. Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's put this on here. So this is going to cover a lot of this patterning, but you've got to remember that the whole cloth's going to be patterned eventually. Right, so let's lay it in a place where there's no patterning, so or maybe just there like that. And it's going to be removable. It's going to have buttonhole loops on the edges to tie on with ribbon. Now what I am thinking is, this is going to be so busy, but then, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and then these are going to go on top. So maybe I'm better order some white silk ribbon to tie it with, because if I don't know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm definitely only going to use white, but I want the option to choose. I want the option to look at how it looks with a coloured ribbon and how it looks with a white ribbon. Okay, so that's our first charm made. Now I was saying about the opportunity for embellishment on here. So what I'm going to do is turn off and move to the table, and just briefly, because as much as I want to, I can't make you 24 hours of videos, but just briefly tell you what I'm going to do with this. Now you could put beads on. I'll wait till I get to the table. Alright, I'll turn off and then I'll go to the table and we'll talk about the embellishment. Okay.